Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our next presentation. Our next presenter is Standard Uranium, and presenting on behalf of the company is President and CEO, excuse me, 5 words to get out, I couldn't get them out, Jon Bey. Jon, go ahead.
Thanks, Derek. Appreciate that smooth introduction. And welcome all of the audience that are watching us today. I'll give you the quick version of this presentation. We're going to run through this in 15 minutes, so here's our legal slide. We can look at that later. So Standard Uranium, we are a uranium company, junior exploration company focused on the Athabasca Basin of northern Saskatchewan. On this slide, you can see the Athabasca Basin and you can see our 3 project areas. Our flagship project is the Davidson River project in the southwest. Up north is our Gunnar project on the east, the Eastern Basin projects. So our goal is to make a high-grade basement-hosted uranium discovery and provide the fuel to power a clean energy future. Basically, a snapshot of our company. We were a private company at the start of this year with a market cap of less than $5 million. Our goal was, we had 3 things we wanted to accomplish this year. Number 1 was going public. We did that on May the 4th. Second thing was to do a significant capital raise. We announced a $3 million capital raise, and we ended up closing on $4.5 million in June. Following that, we went directly into our drill program for our flagship Davidson River project. We finished that one on time and on budget, even after starting a few weeks behind schedule due to COVID-19. Following up that, we are just completed the capital raise today. So we just put another $3.4 million into our bank account, which will set us up beautifully for our first drill program in 2021, starting in Q1. So we are now well-funded, fully permitted, and ready to explore our projects in Q1 of 2021. Our team, I'll go into more detail when we get to the management and directors slide, but they are very impressive. And our short-term catalysts, I just covered those off. We went public, raised the money, drilled the program, and now we're lined up for success in Q1 of 2021. So if you look at our company, where we are right now today, we are pre-discovery. We see ourselves at the very beginning of the speculation phase, which is a fantastic time for investors to invest with us right now. We're pre-discovery, and if you look at 2 other companies that are in the same region as us, what you would have invested in them prior to their discoveries, you would have had a 10x or 20x success, and that was Fission and NextGen Energy. So have a look at our board of directors. Myself as the chairman, I come to this with 13 years of market experience, primarily in mining, but some oil and gas and some technical companies, TSX Ventures, CSE, and the LSE exchanges. Both Neil McCallum and Garrett Ainsworth are both geologists, both very well known for their work in the Athabasca Basin, specifically Garrett, who was the geologist who made the radioactive boulder discovery in 2012, which led to Fission's RRR project. He then left Fission and went to work with NextGen, and he was a huge part of the Arrow discovery and progressing that to where it is today. Garrett left NextGen and came to join us the next day, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Blair Jordan is our lead independent director. He's a lawyer and also a capital markets professional. He is involved with many companies on different exchanges. And Kenneth Judge joined our board at our AGM last month. Ken and I go back many years. Ken is a specialist in M&A activity, cross-border as well, and you can see his resume. It's very impressive. So we brought Ken on to work towards our M&A activities, which we'll be pursuing in 2021. Our management team, Mark Bajic is our CFO. He's Vancouver-based and works with multiple clients here. Galen McNamara came to us from NextGen as well. He worked with Garrett quite closely at NextGen. He now runs Summa Silver, but he's on our technical advisory team. We also picked up Sean Hilliker from NextGen. Sean spent 5 years working with NextGen, doing his master's degree on the Arrow project, and nobody knows the rocks that they have at Arrow better than Sean. And today we announced the addition of Lori Thomas. She comes to us through 15 years of capital markets, uranium specifically, and professional and investor relations. Most recently working with UEX, and prior to that, 10 years with Cameco. So a huge addition to our team. This slide gives you a quick snapshot of the Athabasca Basin in the southwest corner, where we have our Standard Uranium flagship Davidson River project. You can see all those companies around us, from the NextGen to the Camecos to the Oranos, the Fissions. These all are very exciting pieces of land, but specifically look at those stars on the page. The Spitfire project from Purepoint, Orano, and Cameco, Arrow deposit from NextGen, and Fission's RRR. Those all sit on the same conductor called the Patterson Lake Conductor, which we believe runs right through our Davidson River project. And we spent the last 2 years trying to prove that, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. So here's a picture of our core claims and our eastern claims of the Davidson River project. We often get asked, if your claims are so exciting, why have they never been explored? Well, the reason is quite simple. They were tied up in court for 3 years, probably the 3 most important years too. So back in 2012, when Garrett made those radioactive boulder discoveries, there was actually no exploration going on in the southwest corner. People thought that there was no uranium to be found outside of the basin. Well, when Garrett made those discoveries, it led to a staking rush in that corner. And at the time, our projects were staked by an individual by the name of Jody DeRouge. Jody was a director of Fission Uranium at the time. And when he left Fission, he was sued for those claims. But it was proven in court that his holding company owned those claims, even though he offered them to Fission and they refused them. So the judges gave him 100% ownership of those claims. Fast forward a few years, we acquired them from Jody at the end of 2017, and we built our company around them. So the Clearwater domain mirror theory, what that's basically saying is the Clearwater domain is believed to be the source of the heat and the fluids and the uranium that was deposited out on the eastern side of the Clearwater domain, where you see the Patterson Lake corridor and those 3 projects. We believed, and we wanted to prove it through geophysics, that those same conductors ran to the west through our project, and they were potentially the same rocks, the same rock types that could host a uranium deposit there as well. So that's why we spent the last 2 years, 2018 and 2019, doing geophysics to prove those conductors were there. And our most recent drill program, we really wanted to prove that the Clearwater domain was actually true, that those same rock formations are through our project. So this slide gives you a quick snapshot of the geophysics done on our Davidson River main claims. Those big purple thick lines, those are the conductors. The Warrior Trend is where we spent all of our drilling this past drill program, and that is where we believe is the same conductor as the Patterson Lake conductor, that Warrior Trend. So we did the VTEM, as I said, the ZTEM. We really wanted to prove not just that they were conductors, but they had things like cross-cutting structures, conductive bright spots, changes in dip direction, and also breaks and offsets on the conductive trend. Those are all things very similar to what can be found on the RRR and the Arrow project, and they're very crucial to having uranium actually drop out of these conductors. So if you take all those things I just mentioned and put them together, they were all found in that yellow box on our Warrior Trend. They all came together, the bright spots, the offsets, the things like the changes in dip direction. All those things were found in that yellow area, and that's where the majority of our drilling occurred in our first program. So what did we want to do? We wanted to spend around $2 million and drill 5,000 meters, around 15 holes. We commenced drilling in August of 2020 under strict COVID protocols. We managed to make it through the entire program without a single outbreak, which was fantastic. We were drill testing a uranium fertile corridor, hoping to prove that there was uranium mineralization on our project. The conductor was actually very thick, it's 300 meters wide. So we've only put in 13 holes, and they spaced out across the whole trend, which is about 8 kilometers in length. We've got some great information from that. We haven't got all the assays back, but that will be coming out towards the end of October. This gives you sort of an idea of what we did find over there. There were some zones of significant structural disturbance, which is very important. There was shearing, there was brittle deformation, all things very important and similar to the rocks they were finding at Arrow. It was awesome having Sean Hilliker as our project manager. He was able to, look at the core every day when it came in and be able to explain to the rest of us, exactly what we were looking at and why we were seeing it there and how important that was and how that compared to the rocks he was seeing with the Arrow deposit, which was quite awesome. We're now fully permitted and fully funded to begin our phase 2 Warrior Zone drill program, which will start in Q1 of 2021. We haven't got that drill program finalized yet because we don't have all the assay work back, but that'll be coming in early November. So outside of Davidson River, we have a second project up north I mentioned earlier called our Gunnar Uranium project. This is an area right near Uranium City, which was actually the first uranium mine in Canada, and it ran between the 50s, 60s, and 70s up to the 80s, I believe. What we're trying to do is with those 3 targets down below, the Sky, the Java, and the Haven, we're actually looking for something a little different than Beaver Lodge style. We're looking for a basement-hosted type deposit. And so we are actually heading back up to Uranium City tomorrow, doing a bit more work, and then we should have some assays results back towards the end of October or 1st of November as well. Our goal would be to move forward with this project and potentially be drilling this March on frozen ice. Frozen roads go right through our claim area. We did have Joe just up there just a few weeks ago, right after we finished our Davidson River program, and they've had some, off-scale readings on the scintillometers, greater than 65,000, which is pretty significant, which led us to sort of hurry up and do some more work here. So what we're trying to do now is compile all the data that we're collecting from all the other companies that worked there over the past 40 years, and we're putting it into our leapfrog modeling, which will give us more of a modern look at what we're doing, so that when we do drill, we are pinpoint drilling exactly where we want to go instead of just shooting in the dark. So look forward to information coming on that. Moving to our Eastern Basin projects, we have 3 projects over here. These are probably our sea level projects. We hope to have these permitted as well for 2021 and hope to get some work done over here. These again we're looking at basement hosted type projects. These are actually not too far away from IsoEnergy's hurricane uranium zone. And we've got a road that runs right through our Atlantic project. So we anticipate costs to explore this region will be significantly lower, and look forward to information coming from our VP of exploration probably into Q2 of 2021. Looking at our share structure, this will change tomorrow. After we closed in our financing today, we anticipate this will be around 87 million shares out. Our market cap will come up as well. And one thing I want to draw your attention to on this slide is strategic shareholders. So if you look down below, you'll see the names Station Cove, L2 Capital, Tribeca Investment Partners. In my opinion, those are 3 of the top, probably 4 uranium-specific funds globally. It was very important for us and a strategy of ours to go after these funds, tell them our story, and get them involved. Station Cove, led by Mike Elkin, they came into our first capital raise back in 2018, and they've been involved in every raise, except for the last one. And we have L2 Capital, Marcelo Lopez, and from Tribeca, Guy Keller. These are very well-respected and known uranium fund managers, and it's great to have their support, and we look forward to having them as shareholders as we progress the company. So here's a summary slide. We're an exploration team, Saskatchewan, Athabasca Basin. We're focused on 3 of our projects, Davidson River being our flagship. We completed our listing on May 4th. We had a prospectus financing of $4.5 million in June, followed by a $3.4 million prospectus offering closing today. Both of those led by Red Cloud, who did a fantastic job. This round, we brought in Canaccord as well to help us on the retail side. And we've completed our inaugural drill program on the flagship Davidson River project just in September. And we're fully funded and fully permitted to drill again in Q1 2021. And back to you, Derek, for some questions.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Jon. We'll go straight to the line. We've got a question. How far? So a couple questions from BR. First, how far away is your property? I'm assuming your property is in the Eastern Basin, away from IsoEnergy's hurricane discovery.
If you look at that map, sorry if I can go back to that slide. I'm going to share the screen again so that we can see that. Sorry about the delay here.
No problem.
All right. And let's go to from the beginning, and let me see if I can fast forward this to that slide. All right, there we go. So if you can see, this is the hurricane zone right here. Our Canary project is right up there. You can see the kilometers, that's 10 kilometers there. So from this project here, it's only about maybe 15 to 20 kilometers. And same thing going west to our Atlantic, where our ascent is probably, I'm going to say, 10, 20, 30, maybe 50 kilometers to the northeast.
Okay. All right. And then I guess maybe we got the capital structure, we got the slide deck up. There's a question here on I guess capital structure and what the seed rounds were completed at, or the private financings were done at.
Sure. So our initial seed round, which was done by 3 individuals, they came in at 5 cents. We put in 500 grand to the company. We then did our next financing, which was $800,000 done at 15 cents with a 25-cent warrant. And then our follow-up financing to go public was also at 15 cents with a 25-cent warrant. And then we did our large raise of $4.5 million. That was done at 20 cents with hard dollar, 22 cents flow through on the same terms for the one we just closed today. And those had a 30-cent warrant.
All right. That's very, very succinct. And I think that's I guess usually what the question was. What's the seed financing price? Is really the veiled question? Is there any cheap stock in this deal? And obviously there isn't. Everyone's paid up for their shares, which is good. Additionally, obviously you completed the 13 holes at Davidson River already, and we got you gave us a bit of I think you gave the markets a bit of a technical overview on those holes and the results. Maybe when can we expect? When should investors be expecting assays from those holes?
Yeah, I'm hoping to have the final assay results back from the lab by the end of October. Our geologist team will put those together into sort of a presentation and breakdown, and we'll have a release coming shortly after that. So look for something. Okay. If not the end of October, it'll be really early in November.
Excellent. And then I guess the follow-up, you had some really exciting exploration results from Gunnar, and obviously you did some sampling up there around it. When can investors expect that? Those results?
Exactly. So the assays from the sampling we did are expected back around the same time, probably towards the first week in November. As soon as we have that, we'll be sharing it with the market.
Okay. And then I guess looking out, I mean, obviously some of what that 2021 exploration plan looks like will depend on some of the data that's still pending. But maybe talk to now with this financing closed, you're in a position, you're well funded to execute in 2021. Maybe talk a little bit about what people should be expecting on the 2021 drill campaign from you guys, and where you're going to be drilling and sort of maybe rough budget numbers.
Perfect. So priority one is Davidson River. So once we have the final assay results and our geologists get our phase 2 drill program out, we will be publishing that, just the highlights of what we're going to be doing. We anticipate it will probably be another 5,000 rough meters and a budget of roughly $2 million. It'll be a winter drill program, which is quite different from the summer. It's not going to be helicopter support. It's going to be a winter road step project, so that'll keep some costs down there. As far as the Gunnar project, we are looking at I'm going up there tomorrow to meet with the mayor actually and talk about the best way to support an exploration program there. The goal is to probably do some ground gravity right away and potentially drill in March. So we'll see how that all plays out. A few things have to come together. We're in the process of permitting that right now for drilling, as well as our project on the eastern side of the basin.
Okay. And then on those eastern projects, is it be more surface work in geophysics versus drilling in 2021?
I think a lot of that work has already been done from previous companies, so we are probably going to be getting right into drilling, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries with my VP of exploration. That'll be his call, but that'll be something that'll happen, later in the year.
Okay. Yeah. Priority being Davidson River first, Gunnar second.
Following up on, so we expect to see some pretty interesting assay results, and that'll probably fast track what we're doing there.
Okay, excellent. And I guess Standard Uranium's a pretty straight ahead story as far as what the opportunity is, and I guess we've talked about ISO already. What the potential win is when you make with high grade uranium exploration success. You've talked about when you've talked to people, and obviously you've got some good people on your board, was that a key for you when you sort of put this company together and with this Davidson River, having those people who have had that success, with Fission or with NextGen in the basin?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're quite often compared to where NextGen was prior to their discovery, sort of pre-discovery. I think as an investor myself and looking at what I know investors want to see, we wanted to build a team that had specifically had success with uranium in this region. And that was, having Garrett come on board was a huge part of that, having Neil on the team who's been involved with multiple companies in this region, and then adding more pieces of the puzzle as we grew it, getting Galen McNamara, another NextGen guy, come, and then Sean Hilliker, another NextGen guy. These guys have been in these trenches. They've seen the rocks. They know exactly what we're looking for. And investors are loving the fact of the team we're putting together, which goes a long way. And the second thing I did right from the start was knowing who we needed to get on board from the fund manager side. I pinpointed the guys I wanted to be, initially in, starting with Station Cove and then went to L2 Capital and Tribeca. Having support of those guys who are very smart, they know the uranium space, for them to look at our team, look at our project, and then invest, we know they're serious about it, and they give us a lot of, credibility. So it's great to have them as shareholders, and our team is, second to none.
Yeah, there aren't very many long-term institutions in uranium right now, and you've got three of them on your register already. Yeah. So with that, our time is up. I want to thank everybody for joining us for this presentation. Thank you, Jon, for presenting, and we look forward to seeing the results in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Derek, and we'll talk to you soon. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in for this presentation.